What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Here we have an artist mock-up of the Switch Mini called the Switch Up, and this was created by Olivier Raymond and shared on Reddit. This shows what it would look like to have a professionally designed Switch Mini and how it would dock, what it would look like. These are all his designs he made. And many of you might be asking, why is this relevant? Well, based off the title of this video, you could have already guessed that yes, the Switch Mini is coming. It's coming soon. In fact, it's coming so soon that it's already in production. For those of you who have watched this channel for a while, you may have seen me make a couple of videos talking about the Switch Mini, and some of them getting as many as 229,000 views. So yes, it's an interesting topic that a lot of people are interested in, and this most recent update that we're getting from Takashi Mochizuki from the Wall Street Journal, a writer for them, definitely shows that not only is the Switch Mini coming, but it's in production. As far as the original article, it has been locked off to subscribers only to read the full story. And here is the full story. Nintendo is shifting some production of Switch video game consoles to Southeast Asia from China to limit the impact of possible US tariffs on Chinese-made electronics, said people who work on Nintendo's supply chain. It's another example of manufacturers adapting to the tariff threat. So everyone who is up to date with what's going on right now in the trade wars in China will tell you that yes, the US and China not on the best of terms when it comes to trading these days. And the Wall Street Journal reported back in March that an update to the Switch this year was in the works with 2 new models, and I did make a video talking about that. People involved in the supply chain said production in Southeast Asia has started for the Switch, including the current type and the 2 new models, suggesting Nintendo is getting ready to introduce them soon. They didn't give specific volume figures, but said Nintendo wanted to have enough units to sell in the US, the largest market for video game consoles, when the new products go on the market. So here we have the Wall Street Journal officially acknowledging that not only has production shifted from China to Southeast Asia, but they're also working on 3 total different units of the Nintendo Switch. And with this being in production currently, we're in June, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing get announced as soon as July. That is really, really soon and would be in time for a holiday sales release of 2019. Something that I said in my video talking about Nintendo's E3 where I was disappointed, saying they didn't talk about the Switch Mini that I was sure that they would. They didn't, but it looks like that's because they wanted to save it for their own announcement later on. It is absolutely coming. According to the Wall Street Journal, the Switch Mini is in production right now. Here is that article from the Wall Street Journal from the same writer back in March talking about Nintendo will be launching 2 new Switch models in addition to the current model on the market right now. So they talked about this back in March. Me and a few other YouTubers have been talking about this for over a year now, and it looks like the Switch Mini is finally coming to fruition. I personally hope it looks something like this concept art from Olivier Raymond. The Switch Up looks very sleek, all-in-one design. I know a lot of people criticized me when I said the Switch Mini would be an all-in-one design, and based off this artist design, that would be accurate. People said that couldn't work because the Switch requires you to remove the Joy-Cons, and I said, yeah, some games do, but you can always buy a second set of Joy-Cons and connect them wirelessly. So this looks like if they have a system update to have the attached Joy-Cons, you would be able to do that, and it would function just as normal as the regular Switch. And according to this design, it even connects to the TV. Now, I personally don't think the Switch Mini would be connecting to the TV because they'd probably be cutting costs in any measure they could to make it as inexpensive as possible and at the same time giving people a reason to upgrade. If the Switch Mini is able to do everything that its bigger brother is able to, there's very little reason for people to buy the normal Switch in the first place and spend more money on it. Not to mention the other Switch model that was confirmed by the Wall Street Journal that would have more power, more resolution, more everything behind it, and probably cost more money as well. Interesting to see what the design choices on that would be and how they would make it an interesting buying proposition for the end user, the customer. Because honestly, all I ever wanted was a Switch Mini. Now, if the Switch Pro, we'll call it, has far better specs and maybe even exclusive games that only work on that, like they did with the new 3DS, then maybe there'd be a buying proposition. But I don't necessarily see Nintendo separating their audience this early on in the life cycle of the console. So the Switch Pro maybe has a bigger screen and better specs, longer battery, things like that. But when it comes to a selection between the three models of the Switch, if this is all true, I would prefer the Switch Mini, at least in my current state of having two Switches and wanting one that I can just toss in my pocket on the go. It would make the most sense in my life personally. But that's all the information we have right now. Like I said, the Wall Street Journal has reported that not only has the Nintendo Switch moved from China to Southeast Asia, but they're also starting production on a Switch Mini and a Switch Pro. So 3 different models of the Switch are being made as I make this video, which means they'd be out for holiday release, if not earlier, 2019, which means you'd be able to play all these games that they announced at E3 that are coming out this year on a different model Switch, which is just kind of mind-blowing when you consider everything Nintendo talked about in their E3 2019 press conference. That's where I'm going to leave this video, but I would love to hear where you guys stand on this situation. Do you believe that they're in production? And if so, which model would you be most interested in? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. Smash,